All right, as you can see, yesterday we had a little issue with our soap making. Someone got a little zealous and tried to kind of do 4 batches instead of 1 and tried a new recipe at the same time and then decided to change the recipe up the process. So now we're trying to save it, and in the process she accidentally stuck too much lye in it. Right now we've increased the water. We've separated everything out into, this is just 1 batch according to the weight of what a batch would normally be. So we're adding water in. We're going to do the hot process. We will also be adding in oils in just a minute. Right now we're going to go ahead and turn on our crock pot. And we're going to just got it on low. Start heating it up. See, right now it's only at 69 degrees. We're still kind of waiting to see if there's a little more reaction to it with the adding the water and then the lye getting in there. All right, now we're going to add some oil. We also did the weight of another batch in this one. We're adding our water to it. We're going to stir it in real good before we add in the extra fat to combat the excess lye that got stuck in these two. We're kind of doing 2 processes, sort of a heat match. This one will be heated up on our stove so we can hopefully get more than 1 batch done at a time and move this process along quicker. All right, we added our fats in there. We are using grapeseed oil as our added fat to help combat the having too much lye in it. We started the crock pot, we got it on low, and it's just on its normal timer, but we're setting an hour timer so we can check it, as well as a 15-minute timer to stir. The one in the pot, we have going with all the fats and everything added in it to kind of correct our mistakes. See, she's probably going to stir it most of the time. She's got her safety gear on with her gloves and her goggles. And we have our heat down as low as it will go. Now to set our timer here, we're going to do an hour. Actually, let's just do 15 minutes and we'll do that as many times as we need to. Lots of stirring to try and get the stuff to dissolve. And she's so happy and thrilled about it. But I bet you she pays extra close attention to those numbers and those digits. Also,
watch the zeros.
Also, we recommend always using grams in measurements when doing soaps. Not pounds and fluid ounces. So it is getting up to 19. You can see it's starting to thicken up and the other stuff's starting to dissolve or melt in with it. Looks a lot better than what it did already. It's 15 minutes of stirring. You can see we still have some little chunks, but a lot of it has melted down. Now we're going to check the crock pot and see what it's looking like. Alright, so time to stir it. This has been going for 15 minutes as well, but it takes a little longer for the crock pot to heat up, and it is set on low, so this may take a little longer. As you can see though, it is starting to somewhat melt the chunks.
Can you check the temperature
And let's do a temp check. How our heat is going here. Here we're at 101, so not near as much heat as what we have on the stove, which is, well, fairly close, I guess you'd say. This one probably gets a little more direct heat. The pot is starting to make kind of a sound like it's scorching on bottom, or that it might be getting too hot on bottom. So we're actually just gonna move it over here to our coaster, and we're gonna use the immersion blender a little, trying to heat it up with the friction, but we will have to be cautious as there still are big chunks in here as well. It's just hitting the big chunks, and it's a blender. It's got a blade on there. It's designed to cut. We're at 131.9 right now, so we are heating it up. As you can see, it's starting to come together. We just gotta get all those chunks mixed up in there. We're 30 minutes in, and we still have liquid and some chunks on the one in the crock pot. And the one over here, we got a real creamy lather. We've had to add extra water in to kind of help, because of course we're losing water with the added heat. Now we'll check back another 15 minutes.
A lot like jelly.
All right, 45 minutes into the crock pot, and we still have big chunks, but still got the liquid form. So this way, process will probably take quite a while. Meanwhile, in the pot, we're getting it fairly smooth. We have had to add a lot of extra water to kind of assist with it due to the heat taking the water out and evaporating it. But I think we are almost getting to the point of being able to actually use this. We still got some small little chunks that we're trying to get out of there. And we'll continue working. All right, it's been an hour now, and we are still quite chunky. Looks like we're getting a little more creamy. Still quite chunky though with the crock pot. This other is getting, well, almost like it should be. Still have a little bit of some little chunks, so we're trying to get it completely smooth because we don't want any of those hitting anyone's skin. So this batch will probably be remaining at home. All right, we're pouring it out of here and into the mold to see how it goes. It looks like a good consistency, but time will tell. I'll go ahead and switch to this mold, and then if we need to go back, you can go back. But you need to move quickly. It's going to harden quick at this low temp.
It's not at a low temp.
It is at a low temp from what you should be working with soap at.
Do you have to get my swap back to a different mold?
Nope, I want you to just work on these two molds. Do you need me to scrape it out?
Did you want me to move to the pink one back to pink?
Just go ahead and fill this one up and then move back. Alright, with what we thought was one batch, we ended up getting two big brick molds out of. Another, so you can see it started actually hardening again before we got it all in the molds. I think that had to do more with the type of fats we had going on. Looks like mashed potatoes in there. Well, we will see how they turn out. This was again the one that was in the pan that we cooked on the stove. So we will see how it goes. Check back with us later.